complete stop. There was a figure standing in the middle of the bridge, almost camouflaged by the twilight. A hooded person wearing an orange backpack. It was the strange, bent-over posture of the figure that had made him slow down. But it was the child the person was holding that had made him stop. A boy he estimated to be 8 or 9 years old hung limply over the side of the bridge, while the person with the backpack held the fabric on the shoulders of the boy's down jacket. The person was yelling, but the wind snatched up the words, punching holes in them, so he couldn't hear what was being said. He looked over at the car again, and saw yet another insistent blink of the headlights. He needed to hurry now, but he looked down at the bridge again. Then the figure let go of the boy. Chapter 2. The clinic entrance was through the back side of an ivy-covered building that leaned curiously against the wall around Frederick VIII's palace. From the window of the waiting room, Heloise Kaldan could see the top of the marble church's frost-stained dome, and the guards in the palace square, who were parading back and forth in front of Amelia Bohr Palace like loose-limbed sleepwalkers in a snow globe. She reached for a fashion magazine and swung one foot back and forth nervously as she browsed through it. Adrenaline tingled at the ends of her nerves, and her eyes roved absent-mindedly over the fashion reports and articles about skincare regimens. Shallowness and the glorification of teenage anorexia wrapped up in pastel colors. Who the hell reads this garbage? She tossed the magazine aside and looked around the waiting room. The whole room looked like something right out of some Californian interior design magazine. It was decorated in white and cognac-colored hues, punctuated only by succulents in oversized clay pots. The walls were adorned with posters and lithographs of all shapes and sizes, hung so closely together that you could just barely glimpse the asphalt-colored wall behind them. The floor was covered with a cream-colored Berber rug, which tied the room together in one final stylish touch. The whole thing was so delightful that you'd almost be able to forget why you were there. Almost. There were 2 other patients in the waiting room, a gaunt elderly man and a young girl with milk-white skin and big silvery gray eyes. Heloise estimated her age to be no more than 18, and hoped that the girl had come to the clinic for some purpose other than her own. A tall blonde man in white canvas pants and a mint-green t-shirt stuck his head into the room, and the girl across from Heloise immediately sat up straighter in her chair. She inhaled oddly through her nose, moistened her lips, and tried to make them seem fuller by half-opening her mouth into a pout. The expression left her looking like she had just detected some objectionable odor in the room. Selfie face, Heloise thought, one of the era's oddest inventions. The man in the doorway swept a lock of hair out of his eyes with a toss of his head, and then nodded to Heloise. "Heloise?" She stood up. She just had to get it over with now. The doctor showed her into the exam room with a motion of his arm. He read her records on the computer screen and then looked at Heloise. "So, Heloise, you're pregnant?" He mispronounced her name. The hard H made her name sound harsh, like an effort. Heloise had corrected him at every appointment for the last 4 years. This time she let it go. Instead she said, "Yes, so it would appear." "Have you ever been pregnant before?" She shook her head and showed him the test, which she had brought in her purse. There were 2 red lines inside the plastic window in the middle of the stick. One was very clear, the other a misty watercolor, weak like the beginning of a rainbow that you could see best by not looking at it directly. The doctor looked at the test and nodded. "Yes, it looks positive. And am I to understand that this doesn't suit you well?" "It wasn't part of my plan, no." He nodded.